right, good morning. It's now day 8, I guess. Today's Sunday. We started on a Saturday a week ago. I've just got a couple more sheets of plywood to install. Now, I've got to cut a little access hole for my wire here and over there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from this hole being that hole and measure down from that hole. I can't measure from the plywood because there's a gap. But I can go from that hole, and that hole is the same hole, and then figure out where to put my new hole down here for the wire. All right, that's going to be my access hole for that light fixture and the ground. My drawing for my cutout for this light fixture and ground. All right, plywood is up, or at least most of it. I still got this little panel up front. You know, looking at the size of this thing, taking up that much room, the panel could be a lot smaller and you gain that much more room. But I'm just going to go with what it is because my shelves are built for it that way. Guess I got a little piece to put up here. Now, I haven't completely screwed these panels to the walls yet. Just enough to hold it up and have it in place. And I'm going to go through and put a screw in every hole that will take one, and add new screws as necessary, because there's a lot of areas where the plywood's been blown out, where it just wasn't installed very well. And so I want my stuff to be good and stay up. So I'm going to go ahead and take the time necessary to do a good job. Set up my 3-inch hole saw so I can cut out this foam pretty easily. Looks a little bit tight, so hopefully it'll go in. Got a couple of these holes to drill out. That looked like it worked pretty good. Looks exactly where it's supposed to be. Very nice. I had been hoping that these would fit perfectly in there, but they're a little bit loose. Just this one last piece of plywood. Now, it had been previously attached with staples. Of course, I'm not going to use staples. So I'm going to drill a series of holes and pre-drill real nice along the edge and install it with some 1-inch drywall screws. What you doing, Poots? Hi. These 1-inch are too short. Use 1 1/4. Next are the windows. All right. When I first installed these windows, I just relied upon this foam weather sealing, this weather strip around the edge of the window, and you know what? I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm going to just use that again. I'm not going to worry about butyl tape or anything like that. Concerning this trim ring, there used to be like an aluminum clamp that held the two edges together. I didn't like that, so I took it off. Hopefully that doesn't hinder me in any way reinstalling this. I don't think it will. We'll find out. Kind of overlapping at the bottom. Seems pretty tight. Might need to cut the aluminum a little bit. All right, that trim is installed and the screw is in every hole and in the right spot. But the detail here is overlapping. You know, there was a clamp on there that used to keep it straight, but it's like the window trims are not the right size, and they really have a hard time lining up the holes with the channel of the window. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it up apart, and I'm going to trim 1/8 of an inch off right here so that it's a little tighter and better. To cut this, I put the trim in the vise, and I'm going to use this grinder with a cutoff wheel to trim it. I'm not going to film that, I'm just going to do it real quick. I trimmed that down and took a file to the edge because it was pretty mushroomed from cutting it. All right, get that installed now. Yeah, that fits in so much better already. Looking good. Tiny gap there, but I don't mind that. I think that looks good. I think that's in. Good enough. With the plywood in, I can install these aluminum trims. Now, a modification that I want to do is, if you look right up there at the top, the wires like to ride right on the edge of this aluminum. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a notch in the aluminum so that the wires don't necessarily ride on that cut edge. So I made a little notch right here and then cushioned it with some electrical tape. I think that might help. Poopers, poopers, see the poopers, poopers. All right, so that's pretty much the components of my bed. We've got ledger boards, some legs that support this platform hinge, and then the bed platform and legs for the bed. Seems like what I need to do up here for the screen door kind of depends on where the bed lands and stuff. So I'll just go ahead and put in the bed and then probably start working on the shelves tomorrow. There's some other things I want to do. I want to fill in this with plywood. Probably just use the baseboards that used to be in here. They're made of the same 3/8 plywood. So I'll just rip those up and fill in here and up here and along the top as I can there, and of course there. And then I'll need some new baseboards, but that can come at almost any time. And tomorrow I'm going to pick up the trim wood from the mill that I want to use on the ceiling. what you doing, what you doing, what you doing? Hey, what you doing, little poopers? What you doing, what you doing, what you doing? So this is my wooden assembly that holds up the rear screen door. And it's just a couple pieces of wood attached to another piece of wood, right down there. And then once that's hanging, you use this piece of wood to trap the screen between here and screw that to that, and then that holds up the screen door. All of this basically goes right up in here. Something about right there, but up, it needs to go up. And I thought I was going to put in my boards going this way first, but I think I'll just go ahead and put this up and then run those boards into it. And I don't even think I need anything over there. All right, today is Monday. It is day 9 of this trailer remodel insulation job. I just bought a big pile of 1x4s out there, 12 feet long, and I'm gonna use that to trim out this ceiling. Now I had put this support system for the rear screen door up yesterday. I think I'm going to go ahead and remove that. I'm going to rip down my 1x4 to various widths and lengths, and then I'm going to notch this to go around it so that they can kind of be attached. So I'm going to go ahead and take that down and then set up the table saw and the miter saw and get to cutting wood.